Greetings, everyone. By now, you've all had an opportunity to review and look at your individual classmates' video diary number one. I had an opportunity to look at all but two of the video diaries, and I will say that I'm extremely excited about this tool of us being able to communicate as a class together. The two video diaries, unfortunately, that I did not have an opportunity to view were not YouTube links, and one did not download on my computer and the other one is still downloading as I record this video. And so I just wanted to take a moment and share the first video diary recording with you all and talk a little bit about the class as we complete the second week of COM 4310. So, my name is Dr. Krishima Murray. I have had all of you all in previous classes before, and so welcome back. I will tell you that I enjoy teaching common organizations. I only teach it during the summer because we have 3 other faculty members that typically teach it during the regular long semester. But this is one of my absolute favorite classes to teach because it's constantly changing. And so it makes it exciting because there's always something going on in the organizational world. And we know that this week has been, let's say, just a little bit trying. So I'm going to go through some of these questions with you all. My major and minor, you all may know that from my letter and just having me in classes before, I attended the University of Alabama, Roll Tide, where I earned a bachelor's degree in political science and social work, a master's degree in intercultural communication, and a PhD in organizational communication, leadership, and management. I am from Montgomery, Alabama. I tell people that I have a unique position in life because I am from the birthplace of the Civil Rights Movement and the birthplace of the Confederacy. And so imagine being a Black woman growing up in Montgomery, Alabama, understanding that juxtaposition of fighting for your freedom from slavery and oppression as a Black person, and then realizing that people in your city were fighting to keep your ancestors a slave. So it's a lot going on in terms of history. And so it's amazing that I didn't decide to get a PhD in history based on that background. Something that you all may not know about me just by looking at me, I'm a runner. I love to run. I get up in the morning about 6 o'clock and I usually go for a 4 or 5 mile run, and I come in the house and I always, so I'll go for a run and then I'll come in the house. I'll either drink my coffee while I watch my rose bushes get watered by my sprinkler system, or I'll water my rose bushes with my canister and then come in the house and drink my coffee. But typically, that's the way that my day usually starts. And so I'll get up, I'll go for the run, I'll water my rose bushes, have my coffee, and I meditate. And I usually, that routine typically takes around 3.5 hours. And then I'll shower, and I'm usually ready for the day between 9:30 and 10. This season, these last 2 weeks, it's been really difficult. I'll just be very transparent with you all to kind of manage what's happening going on in the world. So we have this global COVID pandemic, and then we have this pandemic that's impacting us in regards to a racial upheaving. And so I've had to deal with that on a mental level, a spiritual level, but also as a researcher and as an educator. I've had to navigate various emails from students that I'm currently teaching now and students that I've taught in the past that have had questions about things that have come up in the classroom or issues that they're facing with work, or I'm dealing with my own issues with work. I've personally written 7 different letters to organizations about their lack of response to what's happening with the racial upheaval. I've written and been a part of 2 articles for 2 different news stations here in the city talking about what's happening with COVID-19. And in the last 7 days, I've been on the news 5 times. And so today I'll post one of the articles or stories that's like breaking news that I had to film today in the middle of me grading you all's video diaries that looks at Walmart and Walmart as a corporation, and Walmart and how they have typically placed African American hair care products in about a dozen or so of their stores in locked cages, right? And so, what does that mean for the implications for African Americans that may shop at Walmart for their hair care products, and how Black people are constantly criminalized even in Walmart? And what does that say about the organization? I'll be very honest with you all. I also teach a course in destructive organizational communication. And in that class, I talk about Walmart as being a corporation that is extremely corrupt and destructive. I would love to teach that class in the fall. I'm on the books to teach something else, but I know many of you all are graduating this summer in the fall. But if you're thinking about, oh, Dr. Murray, I need another class, I would love to take independent study looking at destructive organizational communication. Let's work together. You guys kind of talk amongst yourself in this class, and I can try to put together special topics that deal solely with that class and learning about these corrupt organizations and their corrupt policies. So that's a lot about me that you all may not necessarily know. Growing up, my favorite toy, and this is going to age me because you guys probably have never heard of this toy, was a Cricket doll and a Teddy Ruxpin. So a Cricket doll was this little black doll. She had curly hair. She wore a pink skirt and a green sweater. And so that was the doll. You would put a cassette tape in her back and she would talk to you. And so that was my favorite childhood toy. And then the same with the Teddy Ruxpin. It was a bear that came out in the early 80s. And so those were my favorite toys, in addition to books. I love to read books. I was a big fan of the Babysitter's Club and Sweet Valley High. So that was my favorite book. I am teaching this class because my doctorate is in organizational communication. I believe organizations, they are the fabric of our life. We work in organizations, we support organizations, and so it is essential for us to understand what's taking place in organizations. We're currently looking at chapter 5, which is one of my absolute favorite chapters for this text, and you'll see me mention issues and areas about culture moving forward. There are a couple of different TED Talks and articles that look at culture, and in your week 2 video diary that I will post to Blackboard today, it talks more in detail and in depth about what does it mean for organizations to have culture, to do culture, to understand culture, and to portray that culture to their consumers and their employees. And so that's one of the reasons why I love taking this class. I'm most excited because I know most of you all in the virtual context, I know kind of like some of the ways that you write and some of the things that you think about, maybe from a leadership standpoint or from a training and development standpoint. And so now I get a chance to work with you all in this OrgComm class. It's a small class. I'm extremely excited about it. And so I'm having fun with that. And I'm having fun with the video diary element. When we look at taking classes online, I know in the past I've tried to implement times where students could meet with me virtually and get on a call, just because I miss that face-to-face interaction, and it doesn't always work out. But with this, I get a chance to see your personalities and learn a little bit more about you. And so that's one of the reasons why I enjoy teaching. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy being an educator. And so it is my hope, and I can't remember who said it in one of their comments, but they said that they were excited that this project for us to engage in video diary work was as a part of this class, so you could learn more about yourselves. And I would like to know that. I always want to know what you all are thinking. I'm not a mind reader. I try to guess what my students are thinking or what they may need, but I don't know. And so I will say, if I'm not mistaken, Kristen has written a couple of questions in the virtual office hours. That's something new. If you've had me before, I've never had that virtual option hour option, and so that's been very helpful. There are lots of things that I'm managing in addition to these two classes. I told you all that I have been dealing with the media every single day and writing every single day, and like really trying to take care of my mental health as well as thinking about my family's mental health, and also thinking about like trying to stay safe from COVID-19. So if there's ever like a question about something or an error, just send me an email and I'll check it and I'll respond to it. I check the virtual office hours usually around 10 a.m. in the morning and then again around 5. And so I'll do my best to respond in between that time. But if you see that a student hasn't responded to your question or I haven't responded, please send me an email. I want you all to be extremely successful in all of my classes, but in this class in particular, because we're here in this moment and it's summer school. What makes me most anxious about this class? I'm actually not anxious about this class at all. I'm just excited to have the opportunity to engage with you all. I think that we're going to experience a lot when it comes to organizations in this class. There's been so much that's happened so far, and so it's my hope that you all enjoy this class as much about me. What do I plan to contribute? So if you all notice, I've been engaging with you all on the discussion boards, and I continue to engage with you all on the discussion boards. I'll send you all your daily announcement with the class material. We'll use the video diaries as a way for us to communicate. If you all would like to schedule a time to have a synchronous talk sometime next week or the last week of class, I would love to do that. This is your learning experience. This is your classroom experience. And I just need you all to work with me so that we can co-create meaning together. My organizational experiences, I have been in the academy now almost 20 years, and so I have a lot of experience in academia, but also working with an organizational training firm on the side. I do a lot of consulting work on the side. I'm very involved in the political scene here, and so I get a chance to see how profit and not-for-profit organizations work, and so that's always fun. Roles that I've held in organization, in addition to serving as a principal consultant for a firm, I am the program coordinator for communication studies, communication note S studies. I also serve in about 4 different leadership roles at UHD, anything from dealing with like being a founding fellow for the Center for Critical Race Studies, but also someone that is over the Planning, Budget, and Development Committee for the university and serving as a university senator. And so I wear a lot of hats at UHD, and I'm just understanding and learning how to juggle it all. And so those are some of the roles that I've held in workplace organizations, but also in some of my civic organizations. I've been everything from a president to a vice president. I'm currently the vice chair of the Black Caucus for the NCA, which is the National Communication Association. So I wear a lot of hats, and I've held several different roles in numerous organizations. One of the first assignments that I always think is extremely important for us is to look at the 100 best companies to work for. And you guys have already started having these great conversations about these organizations in particular. I see there's a lot of conversation about Hilton. And one of the things that I always like to point out, organizations to me that are these universal places that we're very familiar with, is Target. One of my best friends, she's a lawyer for Target in Minneapolis. And so please keep her in your thoughts and send her well wishes as she navigates being a lawyer, like being one of the top 4 lawyers for this entire global brand dealing with COVID-19. I like to look at Starbucks, and as we know today, Starbucks, they're in a little bit of hot water. So when you watch this video, you will be very familiar with that. And I also like to look at like airlines such as like Southwest. So you'll see me post about some of these organizations quite often, mainly because I enjoy the way that they deal with their employees. They put their employees in it first, and then they really think about corporate social responsibility. And so that's kind of a lot about me. Like I said, all of these videos should be between 7 and 9 minutes, and I'm already at 14 minutes, and I still have so much more that I want to say and share with you all. Please don't forget that after you watch my video, comment, tell me, hey, Dr. Murray, I read or watched your video, and then don't forget to communicate with your classmates. It is so exciting to see you all, to see your videos, and to work with you this semester. I'm excited to see what the next few weeks will hold in our class. Be well.